this week's reading of the Torah is Parshas Shelach, literally send, Shelach Laka, send for yourself. Okay? It deals with the beginning of the conquest of the land of Israel. In fact, it's a false beginning. It occurs a month and a half after the Exodus from Egypt. It occurs on the 29th of Sivan, that Moshe sends out a delegation of 12 men, each one a chief from his tribe, to explore the land of Israel. The Chumash uses the word yaturu, if I'm saying it correctly, meaning tour, but it can also mean spy. That would be a major issue, whether it is in fact a spying expedition. Some people, like Josephus, say it was definitely a spying expedition. Other commentaries say that just as the Exodus from Egypt was miraculous and occurred without war, so too was the divine intent that the entrance into the land of Israel, the taking of the land of Canaan, was also to be miraculous and without war, as it says in the Song of Moshe, after the parting of the Red Sea, that all of the inhabitants of Canaan melted away in reaction to this great miracle. Okay, what happens is the spies go into the land of Israel, they come back, they say that it is indeed a land flowing with milk and honey, but it's pointless. Ephes, it means nothing, because the people are giants, anshe midos, huge proportions, and that the cities are well fortified, we will not be able to do it. They are immediately contested by Caleb from the tribe of Yehuda, and he is subsequently backed up by Yehoshua, who is from Ephraim, also Moshe's servant, that say we are well equipped to do this, and we should not rebel against the word of God. The theological, practical argument is going to be a critical one in this context. And in fact, God is a major character in the Tanakh. He talks, he expresses his point of view, he is happy, he is at times angry. Okay, in this case, he is very angry. What happens is that the 10 spies who do not want to go into the land of Israel say that it's a land that devours its inhabitants, that basically that's their main claim. And then they also engage basically in a whispering campaign and hysteria against the land of going into the land of Canaan. This is rapidly accepted by the children of Israel, who cry in their tents, that why did God take us into this place to fall by the sword, and that our wives and children should be plundered. Okay? So God responds by saying that how long will these people, I think the word is ni'atsu, nun aleph tzadi, it's the root. How long will these people despise me after all of the miracles that I have done in their midst? The idea is despise. The concept of despising something means it's a combination of hatred and disgust, but the root is that it comes out of holding that the person that you can't stand is a weakling, can't do anything. Okay? There is an evil inclination concerning religion, that religion is weak. So are namby-pamby people, but if you want to get things done, you have to be basically a crook, a rasha. Have to steal, have to use strong arm tactics. That's the basic point of view of people who behave in this way. And that is more or less the point of view of the spies. We are like grasshoppers. Okay, we are like bugs. The idea is that within their scorn and contempt of religion, that because they are religious, they're like bugs. They don't really want to have a state devoted to religion because they don't like the idea of religion being so strong. There was a quote from the Maskilim, the Enlightenment movement among the Jews, which said, you could be a Jew in your house and a man on the street. It's the basic idea. What the reality is that Canaan, in fact, was a known quantity. Avraham had lived there. He had been friends with Avimelech. He had fought the war of the 4 kings and the 5 kings, and he had been victorious. Yitzchak had contended with Avimelech, a Palestinian king. Yaakov had lived in Canaan. He had the problems with the Canaanites, specifically Shem. His 2 sons, much to his disapproval, destroyed the city of Shem. But it shows that how powerful that the children of Israel could be and how weak the Canaanites were. There were giants, but later on we will see that Moshe defeats Og, one of the giants. Later on, what happens is, this is in the Haftorah, is that Yahushua, as a prelude to invasion, sends 2 spies into the land of Canaan, specifically into Jericho, which is very well fortified. And basically the city is guarded very strongly against them and totally vigilant. They come back and report to Moshe that God has delivered this entire land into their hands because the inhabitants are melting away before them. This is the idea within warfare, the concept of morale, that if you have one side that's really up for the fight and the other side is not going to fight all that hard, the side that has superior morale will prevail, and it will often prevail against an army and a foe that is far better equipped. So from a military standpoint, we saw that the United States in Vietnam, in terms of military strength, there's no comparison. The Vietnamese were much more determined. In the case of Caesar, in a number of his wars, a smaller force will defeat a larger force. In the story of the Maccabees, it starts out with a small band of people against the Greeks, against Antiochus, who was one of the most powerful kings of the day, but they ultimately prevailed. The basic idea is that if the cause is just, that ultimately it will prevail. If it's going to be by war, it will manifest itself in military victory. Small force becomes large, but ultimately the idea is that if one is doing God's will, that ultimately he will be successful.